Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Tomb robbing. Many children and blessings, starting from getting married with Hualing Song Mu, traveled to the world of tomb raiding and fusion during the Republic of China era, becoming a mountain-moving Taoist. At the beginning, he married his junior sister Hua Ling and awakened the many sons, many blessings system. As long as you get married and have children, you can receive rewards. Song Mu. Talent withers, ghost hole curse. No, the glory of the mountain-moving Taoist lineage will reappear in my hands. Married flower spirit, rated as a heavenly first grade, you will receive a reward. Qi body source stream. Burial of the Heaven Feng Shui Classic. Married Yin Xinyue, rated as the third level in the sky, you will receive a reward. 5 Thunder correct technique. For Divine Beasts Bloodline. Queen Jingjue has given birth to a child for you, rated as a 5th grade in the sky. You will receive a reward. Fenghou Qimen. Millennium cultivation. Prisoner of the great wilderness's heavenly finger. Zhang Qishan said, the head of the 9 gates, only Mu Yi can handle it. Chen Yulou. There is only one chief in Changsheng Mountain, and that is Master Mu. Yin Xinyue, Hua Xiangu, Hua Ling, and Jingjue Queen said, what can we do if we are above the 4 sects and 9 sections? Are you Song Mu still going to be tricked by us? Yin Xinyue, Hua Xiangu, Hua Ling, Isa, and so on, all have them. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 I treat you as my junior sister, but you actually want to sleep with me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior brother song, this is the health tea I just made. Would you like to taste it? Hua Ling cautiously held a cup of hot tea and asked softly. Just across from Hua Ling, Song Mu is meditating cross-legged, practicing the breathing and breathing techniques of the mountain-moving Taoist. For a long while. Let's put it here. Song Mu opened his eyes and looked at Hua Ling in front of him. Senior brother and the old foreigner have not returned yet. As far as I know, that ancient tomb is not complicated or dangerous, and we shouldn't waste so much time. Hua Ling put down the tea cup and dodged her gaze, afraid to look directly at Song Mu's gaze. 2 generations of people, Song Mu is too clear about the thoughts of Hua Ling, a young junior sister. Hua Ling is in the prime of cardamom years. Coincidentally, there is also a senior brother like Song Mu with sword eyebrows and starry eyes, who looks more beautiful than Panin. Over time, it is inevitable that some special emotions will be mixed in. Girls' feelings are always poetry. Song Mu let out a light sigh in his heart. He is not the person who stole tombs and merged with the big world, but he crossed over 3 years ago and became a mountain-moving Taoist again. Due to his age, Song Mu ranks second among the only 4 remaining mountain movers. Senior brother is back. While Song Mu was pondering, the young junior sister Hua Ling whispered. Not far away, the partridge was walking briskly with the old foreigner. Both of them looked a bit disheveled and unhappy, as if they had encountered some unpleasant accidents in that ancient tomb. Alas, I didn't catch anything this time. The old foreigner muttered as he approached and sighed, the 4 of us have been searching for the dust beads for so many years, but now we're doing well. We can't even find any useful clues. As he spoke, the old foreigner's hand reached out to the teacup on the table. Hua Ling quickly protected him and whispered, this is the tea I prepared for Senior Song. He hasn't even taken a sip. Upon hearing these words, the old foreigner was taken aback, then stood aside with a smirk. He is considered a top-notch expert in the green forest world, but he still dares not cause trouble in front of Song Mu. The reason is also very simple, unable to fight, I can't beat it at all. Senior brother. Song Mu looked up at the partridge and frowned, saying, that ancient tomb. The partridge shook its head with a bitter smile and sat aside, saying, there is only one night pearl inside. This clue about the dust pearl has been broken again. For this result, Song Mu had long anticipated, or rather, he had always known the whereabouts of Jingjue. Now I don't know about the hidden forces and special forces in this world. It's probably not wise to rashly go to the tomb of King Xian to steal the dust pearl. Unfortunately, our mountain-moving Taoist family has a sparse population. Instead, it's better to be a strong warrior than to be a force like the old Nine Gates, who have more confidence. Otherwise. Song Mu pondered and touched the ghost cave curse on his neck, then turned to look at the partridge and said, "Senior brother, I suggest going to Changsheng Mountain to seek some help." The partridge was momentarily stunned and puzzled. Changsheng Mountain. What does junior brother mean? Song Mu hesitated and said in a deep voice, "I do know a clue related to Jingjue, but with our current manpower, strength, and equipment, we are still far from being able to handle it." Upon hearing these words, the flower spirit on the side, an old foreigner, also suddenly became serious. After a moment of contemplation, the partridge nodded and said, "If that is indeed an extremely dangerous location, we must think twice before taking action. If necessary, we can also seek some help and not act recklessly." Song Mu picked up his teacup and took a sip before sighing, "That's settled. Senior brothers, junior brothers, and sisters, we will set off for the territory of Changsheng Mountain in the next few days." Hua Ling suddenly spoke up and said, "Senior brother Song, does this tea still suit your taste?" Song Mu was taken aback and said, "It's still possible." On the side, the partridge chuckled slightly and said, "Hua Ling, do I remember you have something to say to junior brother Song?" Song Mu looked at the partridge in confusion and then at Hua Ling. The atmosphere is slightly stagnant. Hua Ling took a deep breath, and two blushes inexplicably appeared on her fair and pretty face, which were both eye-catching and pleasing to the eye, making people want to take a bite. "Song. Senior brother Song, I want to marry you and become your wife." A word of courage from the cardamom girl, directly made Song Mu feel a bit confused. "I take you as my junior sister, you actually want to sleep with me. But then I'll come back to it. Whether it's in terms of appearance, physique, personality, and so on, Song Mu also likes her own junior sister very much. He just can't figure out whether the world is dangerous or not yet, so he hasn't thought about it in terms of personal relationships." There was a moment of silence. Song Muzhen pondered his words and said, "It's not that it's not impossible. It's just that the curse of the ghost cave in our mountain-moving Taoist lineage has not been lifted yet. It's too early to talk about these things now." Before the words fall, a cold reminder sound appeared in Song Mu's mind. Ding! It has been detected that the host has received the admiration of Sister Hualing, and the Duozi Duofu system is being activated. Successfully activated. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 002 Duozi Duofu. Get married, Flower Spirit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I've been traveling for 3 years now, and only then did I receive my exclusive cheat account. Song Mu let out a deep sigh in his heart, as if relieved of a heavy burden. During these 3 years, due to the cheats he was looking forward to, the time he received them was not up to his account. So Song Mu has always been doing his best to learn various secret techniques and martial arts of the mountain-moving Taoist, just to have a sense of self-protection. In this era, no one knows better than Song Mu. On the eve of the imminent outbreak of war, during the Republic of China era, warlords of all sizes were divided, and the bandits in the Green Forest were like cattle hair. Moreover, there were mountain spirits and wild monsters in this world, which could be described as a chaotic scene. In other words, in this dangerous world, even survival is very difficult. How can one have the heart to think about discussing marriage? Is there a multiple sons, multiple blessings system? Turning my mind, Song Mu quickly studied the golden finger he had just received, and with his rich experience in online literature from his past life, he had already sorted out his thoughts in just a few seconds. Multi-child multi-fu system 1. Whenever the host marries and takes concubines, they will receive a reward, and the quality of the reward depends on the individual qualifications of the wife and concubines. Whenever the host gives birth to offspring, they will receive a reward, and the quality of the reward depends on the individual qualifications of the offspring. 3. Remove racial restrictions, allowing hosts to have offspring with all races. 4. Your offspring have a chance to stimulate special bloodlines or further purify their own bloodlines. 5. Rewards will only be issued when the wife and concubine score is 85 or above. In short, as long as Song Mu gets married and takes concubines, and gives birth to offspring, he can receive rewards. The higher the qualifications of wives, concubines, and offspring, the higher the rewards. So, it seems that I can use the advantage of quantity to obtain multiple rewards, and I can definitely follow the Sea King route and rapidly improve my strength. At this time point, there are quite a few original women in the world of tomb raids. Song Mu quickly recalled, and many candidates came to mind. My own flower spirit junior sister, the Red Girl of Changsheng Mountain. Furthermore, there is Yin Xinyue from the New Moon Hotel. There is also the Hua family in the Jumen of Changsha, or it could be Shi Huaichan, the chieftain of Baiqiao village. Roughly count, there are no less than 6 or 7 wife candidates. Open the personal panel. Mind twitching slightly. A light curtain appeared before Song Mu's eyes. Host. Song Mu, identity. Moving mountain Taoist, realm. Ordinary people, skills. Mountain moving and reclamation, tuna, kuishin kicking and fighting personal space. Miscellaneous items, personal items are automatically generated. When I see my own realm marked as mortal, Song Mu keenly sensed that in this tomb raiding fusion world, there may still be something so powerful that it is indescribable. On the side, the anticipation on Hua Ling's pretty face is gradually fading. Junior brother Song. Zhigu looked at Song Mu for a moment and whispered, if you think this matter is not feasible, why not point it out so that junior sister can? Song Mu looked up and smiled, why not? Suddenly, the 3 people present were all stunned. What do you mean, junior brother Song, said Zhigu, slightly old foreigner. Great, senior brother Song. Then we must go to the city tonight to celebrate. Only Hua Ling, a pair of watery and spiritual big eyes, stared shyly at Song Mu, and 2 blushes appeared on her fair cheeks, tempting and alluring. I have always known your intentions, sister Hua Ling. It's just that I was studying the way to survive before and was bound by the curse of the ghost cave of our mountain-moving Taoist, so I dare not think about these marriages and love affairs. Song Mu grabbed Hua Ling's weak and boneless little hands and whispered, and now? These problems will no longer be obstacles. Hua Ling let out a soft, Then she was pulled into her arms by Song Mu and gently embraced for a moment. Soon. The place where everyone lived was also quickly organized by Zagusho and the old foreigners, and the older Zagusho served as the marriage witness. The mountain-moving Taoist has been wandering outside for years, making the world his home. There are actually not so many complicated rules in life. Song Mu and Hua Ling joined hands to worship their heavenly father, birth mother, and grandfather, and even completed a simple wedding ceremony. Let's go down the mountain. Song junior brother and Hua Ling junior sister have just got married, so we have to celebrate tonight. Besides, things in the wilderness are not very common, and some things are inconvenient. The partridge waved its hand slightly and led everyone down the mountain. I've never eaten pork before, but I've always seen pigs run away. After traveling south and north for so many years, the partridge knew that this wedding night was still very important. The bridal chamber could be a bit rudimentary, but it definitely couldn't be without it. Going down the mountain into the city, the 4 senior brothers and sisters each washed and dressed up, ordered a private room in a restaurant, and then ordered a table full of delicious food and drinks. Although this wedding banquet was rudimentary, however, Song Mu knew that this was the sincere intention of his own martial brothers. In the wedding room, Looking at Hua Ling wearing a simple Taoist robe, Song Mu's mood also experienced a rare ripple, and he couldn't resist his anger. A spacious Taoist robe, it can block many landscapes. But Song Mu's fiery and golden eyes had already been honed to the top level in his previous life. At a glance, you can tell the sequence of mantu and watermelon, and can also guess the degree of Q bounce. Senior Brother Song. The sound of the flower spirit is like a mosquito, tightly gripping the corners of the clothes with both hands. Song Mu strode closer and gently rubbed Hua Ling's pretty face, whispering, "Madam, it's getting late." Ah! Hua Ling was stunned for a moment. Then she reacted and a blush spread directly to her neck. Senior Brother Song. No, husband. Oh my. Amidst the cries of surprise, Hua Ling was caught off guard and was flipped over on the bed by Song Mufang. Lying there completely defenseless, appreciated by Song Mu from a condescending position. Junior sister, I'm here. Upon hearing Song Mu speak, Hua Ling tightly bit her red lips, her tender white hands tightly gripping the sheets, and her whole body involuntarily trembled. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 003 Reward. Chi Body Source Stream. Stepping into the path of cultivation. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. On the night of the bridal chamber, the wind, clouds, and rain of Mount Wu. Faced with Song Mu's incredibly powerful siege and fortress removal, Hua Ling had no fighting power and retreated step by step, experiencing the excruciating pain of piercing the soul one after another. 1 hour later. Song Mu admired the gentle fragrance of soft jade in her arms. It seems like a pure and natural top-notch beauty like Hua Ling, which can be said to be unparalleled for thousands of miles. And this level of beauty, it is also a comprehensive crushing of the technology and ruthless beauty that Song Mu has seen in her past life. In addition to savoring, the system prompt just now was also recalled by Song Mu. Ding, successfully married the host for the first time detected, and the wife's flower spirit rating is top-notch. Congratulations on receiving a special wedding reward. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1. Skills. Chi Body Source Flow, Modified, and Golden Light Mantra. 2. 10 years of cultivation. 3. Burial of Heaven Feng Shui Classic, Remnants. The special wedding reward is somewhat similar to the first recharge gift package. But it's really fragrant. Song Mu is very satisfied with the rewards he has received. Others may not know, but he is very clear that the rewards include the Chi Body Source and Flow, Modified, and the Golden Light Mantra, which are powerful techniques that come from under one person. Once the cultivation is successful, how easy is it to save one's life in this chaotic world? Chi Body Origins and Flows, Modified. Demonic Transformation under one person. 8 unique skills. Practicing this technique can integrate all the attributes of Qi in the body, achieving true unity of all sources without any attribute conflicts or limitations. You can freely change attributes to achieve the effect of practicing various techniques and skills. Note. This skill can only be taught to bloodline descendants, and it is automatically learned when new offspring are born. Note. After practicing this technique, all cultivation achievements in the host's body can be transformed into Qi, and Qi can also be changed into any special form. Note. After the host's strength cultivation reaches a certain level, this skill will unlock restrictions related to divine, clear, and spiritual. It's amazing. After quickly sorting out my thoughts, Song Mu was truly shocked. Isn't this to say that as long as I cultivate this demonic modified Qi body source stream, it's equivalent to having a universal form of Qi source. Even if you practice or use other skills in the future, you don't have to worry about attribute conflicts. Besides this, what Song Mu is most satisfied with is that as long as he cultivates into the Qi body source stream, modified, then his bloodline descendants will have the most suitable physique for cultivation from the moment of birth. After a slight calming of the mood, Song Mu has studied the reward of the Golden Light Mantra again. Golden Light Mantra. Successful cultivation can form a protective golden light on one's own surface, which can enhance one's cultivation and stamina. The stronger the foundation, the higher the strength of the golden light curse, and the more changes in the protective golden light. From below one person, note. You can obtain rapid improvement by consuming the inner elixirs of natural materials and treasures, as well as mountain spirits and wild monsters. The golden light curse from under one person. This move is a powerful skill that can be attacked and defended while advancing. Song Mu remembers clearly, the golden light curse under one person is not simple. It is not only a divine skill for protecting the body, but also a means of attack. Whether this move is powerful or not, it all depends on whether the cultivation realm is high and profound. Just like an old master under one person, who can break his golden light curse? Who can withstand his slap again? Burial of Heaven Feng Shui Classic, Remnants. Integrating countless Feng Shui secrets from ancient and modern times, one can recognize the dragon veins, observe the mountains and seas at a glance, search for the stars and constellations of heaven and earth, and explore the world's Feng Shui treasures. In the Burial Heaven Feng Shui Classic, it seems that there is also a fusion of the 16-character Yin-Yang Feng Shui secret technique. Unfortunately, it's a fragment and not complete. Song Mu felt a little regretful, however, even if this Burial of Heaven Feng Shui Classic is only a fragment, it will be enough for him to benefit for a lifetime. Even the deepest ancient tomb is invincible. Claim all rewards. Without hesitation, Song Mu whispered in his heart. In an instant, a large number of complex and obscure texts, guidelines, and Feng Shui secrets flooded into Song Mu's mind crazily. And because this is a system reward, among them, there are two techniques. Qi Body Source and Flow, modified, and Jin Guang Mantra, successfully mastered by Song Mu, successfully cultivated. Next, the reward of 10 years of cultivation flowed into Song Mu's body, crazily improving and strengthening his limbs and organs. Cool. Feeling the qi inside the body soaring wildly, Song Mu's mood was also incredibly joyful. Open the personal panel. A flash of light flashed before my eyes. Host. Song Mu, Identity. Moving Mountain Taoist, Realm. Practicing Qi Level 2, Cultivation Skills. Qi Body Source and Flow, Modified, Golden Light Mantra, LV1, Burial Feng Shui Classic, Remnants, Moving Mountains and Filling Seas, Tuna Technique, Kueishin Kicking and Fighting Technique Personal Space. Miscellaneous items, gold, silver, antique books, etc. After receiving a few rewards, I actually stepped directly into the realm of cultivation. Practicing Qi, I am no longer the mortal body I used to be. From now on, there is hope for longevity. While Song Mu was feeling emotional in his heart, Hua Ling, who was taking a nap from exhaustion in her arms, woke up leisurely and said, "Husband, the scent on your body seems different. Is that right?" Song Mu lowered his head to admire the beautiful scenery, his fingers twitching slightly. Hua Ling suddenly woke up, her pretty face turned pale, and her voice was mixed with a hint of crying. "Goodbye, husband, I just fainted. Still coming. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 004 Golden Light Curse Upgrade. By taking the route through the western border of Hunan, one can always win." You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, it wasn't until the sun was rising that Hua Ling woke up from Song Mu's arms. "Are you awake, madam?" Upon hearing Song Mu speak, Hua Ling, curled up in his arms, let out a mosquito-like sound, but dared not look up or move around. "Your physical condition is not good these days. We can postpone it for 2 days before heading to Changsheng Mountain." Song Mu tenderly pinched the cheong nose of the pinched flower spirit. "It's clearly just one night," Hua Ling, who was originally a young girl, now has a hint of allure, blending seamlessly with her own pure temperament, making her even more alluring. Sensing Song Mu's tendency to raise a gun, Hua Ling struggled to get up and whispered, "Husband, we can actually set off immediately. I have a few very useful wound medicines in my hand, it's not a problem." Song Mu smiled and nodded, "Then it's all up to you." After washing and tidying up, the two of them, it's already the afternoon. The partridge and the old foreigner were in the hall, and the tea had been changed 3 times before they finally arrived late, Song Mu and Hua Ling. "Ha! Senior brother, is this still our little junior sister?" The old foreigner looked at Song Mu and Hua Ling in surprise and was very puzzled. "Why haven't we seen each other all night? It seems like someone else has changed, it's even more lively." The partridge waved its hand slightly and said with a smile, "You'll understand when you also beg for a wife in the future." Song Mu joked, "Master, you know a lot. I think you were quite charming when you were young, indulging in promiscuity everywhere, right?" "Hi, there's nothing else." The partridge waved its hands a little, looking embarrassed. A glance flashed across my head, but it made a little more puzzled on the face of the partridge. "Junior brother Song, it seems that your body shape and breath are very different from before. People feel refreshed during happy events. Last night, they realized some subtle things, which naturally led to some changes." Song Mu waved his hands and evaded. Regarding this, the partridge didn't delve into it even if it fell slightly. After having lunch and purchasing a batch of dry food supplies, Song Mu, the 4 members of the mountain-moving Taoist family, rode on a fast horse and headed straight to the territory of Xiangxi. A few days later. Within the territory of Xiangxi, the partridges led the team to find their way, which saved Song Mu a lot of effort. As a mountain-moving Taoist who travels south and north with a wide range of knowledge, Zagusho can be considered a living map on this land of Kyushu. The only thing that made Song Mu a little uncomfortable was that, the green forest bandits encountered along the way, upon hearing the partridge report its own door, met the slang cut and respectfully released them, not giving Song Mu a chance to take action at all. Fortunately, I handed a letter to the general manager of Changsheng Mountain before. It seems that he had confessed to the bandit brothers under his command. Otherwise, the partridge shook its head slightly without saying much. In today's world, warlords and civilians struggle to make a living, and the bandits blocking the way are extremely vicious. They kill people and steal goods without any ambiguity. If it weren't for Chen Yulou, who always gives orders, even if the 4 of them are from the same lineage as the mountain-moving Taoist, it is necessary to engage in a firefight and fight against the bandits along the way in order to pass. The 9 provinces' dragon veins are hidden, and the qi is scattered but not concentrated, indicating that a major disaster is imminent. Song Mu let out a light sigh and whispered. This is also the various clues that he could perceive from various changes in the weather and constellations of heaven and earth after mastering the Burial Feng Shui Classic, Remnants. And this so-called catastrophe, Song Mu knew that this was referring to the catastrophe of war. While the two were talking, the old foreigner rode a fast horse back from the front and said, "Senior brothers, I just received news from my brothers at Changsheng Mountain. Chen Yulou, the chief commander of Changsheng Mountain, has personally led a large number of green forest bandits and soldiers to the vicinity of Laoxiong Ridge." Old Xiongling. The partridge frowned slightly. After careful recollection, the partridge whispered, "I have heard of the area around Laoxiong Ridge in western Hunan. It is said that there is a large tomb of the Yuan dynasty hidden there, and there is also a Dan palace and Taoist temple at the top of the mountain." As he spoke, the partridge glanced at Song Mu and asked, "Senior brother Song, there is a clue you mentioned before about Jingjue." Song Mu shook his head slightly and said, "That Jingjue is not in the area of Laoxiong Ridge, but I am aware of his plan at Chen Yulou, which is nothing more than for the rich and substantial tomb of the Yuan dynasty. This happens to be an opportunity, we can send out some favors." In a few words, my mind was as sharp as a partridge's, and I had already understood Song Mu's intention. Even when I nodded, I said, then let's just take a detour and go to old Xiongling. Let's go. Four fast horses resumed their journey. Song Mu nibbled on one of the treasures of Hualing, a century-old Ganoderma lucidum. At the same time, he summed up the inevitable goals of his profession. Fengming Angry Qingji, this exotic beast with true phoenix bloodline in its body must be taken down. If it is properly cultivated and carried by its side in the future, it will also be a great help. Besides, the red girl from Changsheng Mountain. Well, we must also take it. Take 3 or 2 bites of lingji and take it to your stomach. The medicinal power turned into a warm current, sweeping across Song Mu's entire body. Accompanied by a golden light flashing through Song Mu's eyes, it also made him feel that his physique had improved again, and his spirit had been boosted. Golden Light Curse Upgrade. LV1 LV2. PS, seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 0054 Tomb Robbers in the World. Unloading Ridge focuses on one person. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Laoxiong Ridge Miao Village. A group of traveling merchants dressed up and carrying various burdens entered the village. Who would have thought that they had just entered the village? They were surrounded by many local Miao people. There were even a few fierce local hunters who raised their long and short shotguns and watched the group of wandering merchants with utmost vigilance. Without a doubt, these Miao people are the local, ripe seedlings. The Miao people living in the area of Laoxiong Ridge also have a distinction between raw and cooked. If it were those raw seedlings who were extremely hostile to the Han people, they would probably have already drawn their swords and guns by now. How could they wait until now? Only mature seedlings with a slightly better attitude will have some interaction with Han people. Hey, brothers, don't misunderstand. As the leader, he stepped out of the crowd and clapped his hands with a folding fan, saying with a smile, we are just wandering merchants picking mountains and goods. Today, we passed by your precious land and just wanted to exchange for some mountain goods. This person has an extraordinary temperament. As soon as he spoke, he overwhelmed the entire audience. The atmosphere has also eased slightly. A pair of round sunglasses resembling a fortune teller was worn on his face, with a round hat and a folding fan. This person was not someone else, but the head of Changsheng Mountain, Chen Yulou. The 2 subordinates behind him, one tall and one short, were Kunlun and Huama Guai. A person full of banditry, named Luo Lao Wai, is a warlord leader under the influence of Chen Yulou, the Changsheng Mountain faction. The last woman dressed in red with a beautiful appearance was like a red girl. Although this group of people is not many, but their identities are hidden very well. That is to say, Chen Yulou entered the Miao village with great care. If it's normal, who dares to hold a gun and a knife, aiming at Chen Yulou? Every minute, the whole family will be buried alive in the soil, not a single one is missing. What is the boundary of Changsheng Mountain? That's the 3 xiangs and 4 rivers, the old nest of green forests and horses echoing from all directions. As the overall leader of Changsheng Mountain, Chen Yulou is the leader of this large group of bandits, the Green Forest Roaring Horse. If such identity and status were not deliberately hidden, could a hunter from a small Miao village still point a gun or knife at them? They say they are wandering merchants and want to come here to exchange for some mountain goods. There was a child in the crowd who knew Chinese and spoke a sentence. Upon hearing this, Chen Yulou raised his eyebrows slightly and said with a smile, yes, we bring these things. Everyone can read and choose freely. A group of Miao people approached with half faith and half doubt. After rummaging through several heavy mountain burdens, these Miao people clearly relaxed their vigilance and began to pick and choose one after another. The atmosphere gradually warmed up. And Chen Yulou also breathed a sigh of relief, secretly gesturing to a few subordinates to not forget to take some local tongue leaks while exchanging for mountain goods. He's fucked up. I've followed you since, and I've never been pointed at with a gun like this. When we steal the tomb of the Yuan dynasty this time, I'll bring someone to raze his mother Nanjai to the ground. Following Chen Yulou, Luo Laowai was cursing and cursing, exuding a strong sense of banditry. Chen Yulou calmly waved his hand and said with a smile, just a group of local Miao people. You, the handsome Luo, shouldn't have been angry with these people. Lao Luo lit a cigarette and snorted twice. On the side, Red Girl approached and whispered, Boss, I just received a message from my brothers that the group of mountain-moving Taoist has entered the territory of Xiangxi and is heading towards Laoxiong Ridge. Oh. You came fast enough. Chen Yulou nodded and said with a smile, these fake Taoists, they usually see the head but not the tail. This time they suddenly come to your door. I'm afraid they have something to ask for. The mountain-moving Taoist. Luo Laowai was somewhat puzzled. Luo Shuai is somewhat unaware. Chen Yulou said in a deep voice, the inheritance of tomb raids in this world can be divided into 4 categories. Feiqiu Heavenly Official, Majin Colonel, Mountain-Moving Taoist, and Unloading Mountain Warrior. Among them, Feiqiu and Majin belong to the same sect. And we always win the mountain, which is the gate of Unloading Ridge Strength. Only this mountain-moving Taoist has a lineage of unpredictable people who excel in unique secret techniques. They go down to the tomb to fight but are not for the sake of gold and silver artifacts, which is very mysterious. Upon hearing this, Luo Lao gave a sneer and shook his head, saying, if the tumbling in the tomb is not for the sake of gold, silver, and artifacts, what is it for? Is it possible that there is still some miraculous technique hidden in the coffin that can achieve enlightenment and ascend? Chen Yulou remained silent, my heart is secretly speculating. When the partridge sent a letter to Changsheng Mountain earlier, coincidentally, Chen Yulou is preparing to take Luo Laowai and others to Pingshan to steal the Yuan dynasty tomb. Is it difficult? These mountain-moving Taoist priests also came for that Yuan dynasty tomb. But with the help of these mountain-moving Taoist priests who possess unique skills, it may also be a significant help, perhaps saving me a lot of time. As soon as I thought about it, Chen Yulou also has a bit more confidence in strategizing. To compete in tomb raiding techniques and various secret techniques, they may not be outstanding in unloading the ridge warriors. But when it comes to comparing the number of people, he dared to recognize Chen Yulou as the second, who dares to claim first place. P.S. Seeking support for Flower monthly ticket evaluation tickets, with feasible data on the first day, it is inevitable that there will be a bottom line of 10 changes. Do what you say. 006 Golden Light Curse, protecting the body with golden light to intimidate everyone. Step on. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. As the sky gradually darkened. In the old Xiongling Golden Wind village, Song Mu and 4 others rode horses into the village. The Han and Miao people live together in this Jinfeng village, and the local Miao people have long been accustomed to the Han people from outside. Husband, aren't we going to find the chief of Changsheng Mountain? Why did we come to this Golden Wind fortress? Hua Ling nestled in Song Mu's arms, feeling somewhat puzzled. When they arrived, they had already received news from the bandits in Changsheng Mountain that Chen Yulou was located in the Miao village on the south side of Laoxiong Ridge. But even the partridge didn't understand at all, why did Song Mu take a temporary detour and come to this Golden Wind fortress first? There is a rare bird and beast with decent bloodline in this Golden Wind village. At this time, it is crossing its own human calamity. If it can be saved, it would be a great thing. Song Mu smiled and answered. The partridge instinctively lifted its head and looked into the air, saying, Senior brother Song has extraordinary vision. In this Golden Wind fortress, there is indeed a auspicious red light shining straight into the sky. Let's go, this way. Song Mu distinguished a direction and led the 3 of them forward. With the burial of Heaven Feng Shui Classic in his mind, Song Mu had already mastered the ability to observe heaven and earth, distinguish breath, and at a glance, he could sense the location of Feng Ming's anger towards Qingji. This rare bird and beast with true phoenix bloodline means auspiciousness. And the auspicious aura surged into the clouds, this can't escape Song Mu's eye. Moving forward, Song Mu and his 4 companions stopped in front of a stilted building. There is an old man sitting in the yard, smoking a dry cigarette and enjoying the scenery of the sunset. This old gentleman. The partridge was just about to pick a stubble. But suddenly I heard it, a very loud rooster crowing rose up from the sky, making people's hearts and minds excited. I can't be wrong. Song Mu turned his head. I immediately saw the phoenix roaring angry clear chicken locked in the cage. And on the side of the chicken coop, a man was holding a kitchen knife, looking at the posture, making it clear that he was going to catch and slaughter the phoenix roaring angry chicken. Carefully examined for a moment, the partridge was also shocked to see it. This phoenix roaring angry clear chicken is truly extraordinary in its divine spirit. Even if it is locked in a chicken coop, it still exudes a majestic aura. That body of chicken feathers is divided into 5 colors, the chicken beak and claws are exceptionally sharp, shining with golden light. I see. The place where such divine creatures were born in heaven and earth must be extremely dangerous, with poisonous insects everywhere. Brother Song has a good eye. The partridge couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Song Mu smiled and waved his hand, saying calmly, in the area of Laoxiong Ridge, there are poisonous insects everywhere. According to the principle of restraining life, in our mountain-moving tradition, we naturally need the help of this phoenix roaring angry clear chicken. While the two were whispering, the old man cast a glance and tentatively asked, look at a few Taoist priests dressed in Taoist robes. I wonder which mountain they came down from. The partridge is a bit lazy to pay attention. Previously, he had already recognized the identity of this old man. He was once a member of the Thunder Altar sect in the Golden Mansion, but he didn't even pay attention to it. Although the lineage of mountain-moving Taoists is not orthodox, but he wouldn't take this unremarkable Golden Mansion Thunder Altar seriously. Just a Taoist who travels around the world. Old sir. Song Mu smiled and pointed to foaming angry rooster, then said, we are willing to buy this rooster. Can you give us a price? Not for sale. The old man snorted coldly and had a very high attitude. He's wearing a Taoist robe, but he doesn't dare to report himself. Hurry up and get lost. In his opinion, although all 4 of Song Mu were dressed in Taoist attire, they dared not reveal their own homes. They are probably fake Taoists who deceive in the martial arts world, without any orthodox sect inheritance at all. On the side, the old foreigner made a gesture in secret, but it was slightly stopped by the partridge. Forceful robbery is easy, but it can easily breed accidents. If the 4 of them were to collapse in this Golden Wind village, it would be laughable. As soon as I thought about it, the partridge soon planned to report its own family. Do you dare to be arrogant in front of me, even the humble Jingjue Thunder Altar sect member? Song Mu let out a stern shout, accompanied by a dazzling protective golden light, burst out at the same time. Surrounding people, all of them were the protective golden light that erupted from Song Mu's body, shocked and dazed, and he didn't come back to his senses for a while. That protective golden light, it was like a thin barrier film covering Song Mu's entire body. Seemingly fragile, in fact, it is indestructible and has amazing defense. This. The old man was stunned for a moment, then knelt down with a thud and said, Daomen. Golden Light Curse. You can actually cultivate the legendary protective golden light, unheard of. I have eyes that don't recognize the identity of the Taoist master. Please don't blame me, Taoist master. As one of the 8 great curses of Taoism, the Golden Light mantra is not unfamiliar to people in Taoist sections. The level of cultivation that produces substantial body protection golden light has never been heard of before, and can truly be called the legendary realm level. What exactly is the origin of this young man? Although everyone can practice this golden light mantra, I have never heard of anyone who can truly cultivate a protective golden light unless. My mind is filled with thoughts. The old man suddenly froze for a moment and was shocked in his heart. He shouldn't be the orthodox Taoist who came down from the Dragon and Tiger Mountain, right? This is a bad thing. Watching the old man's forehead sweat profusely, Song Mu casually scattered the protective golden light and said, "As long as you have a clear understanding of my identity, you cannot reveal the secrets of heaven. I came to Laoxiong Ridge this time to step on the seeking Bottle Mountain and eliminate evil spirits." Upon hearing these words, the old man quickly arched his hand and said quickly, "We are also considered members of the Taoist sect. It is our duty to slay demons and eliminate demons. As long as you speak, we will do our best to cooperate. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 007 rescued Angry Qingji and crossed the human calamity. Chen Yulou. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When Song Muliang shone with a protective golden light, whether it was trading Phoenix roaring angry clear chicken or searching for a place to settle, the old man had no hesitation and was very helpful after being busy. In an unmanned courtyard of Jinfeng village, Song Mu also released the Phoenix roaring angry clear chicken. You're lucky enough to be rescued by me. It seems like you, a rare beast with divine animal blood in your body, have the most difficult time overcoming the three tribulations of heaven, earth, and human beings. Song Mu said lightly. The phoenix roaring angry rooster seemed to understand Song Mu's words. He held his head high and took 2 steps forward, but then lowered his head in a respectful posture. Everything has a spirit, and rare birds and beasts like Fengming Angry Qingji have even more spiritual power. Go ahead. Song Mu waved his hand and got up to sit down at the table. Hua Ling was grinding several medicinal herbs and poured a cup of hot tea for Song Mu before saying, "Husband, did you know there was a rare bird and beast in this Golden Wind village?" Song Mu nodded with a smile and said, "I guess so. However, the blood vessels in this phoenix roaring angry clear chicken's body are still too thin. If there is a chance to further stimulate purification in the future, that will be the way to ascend to heaven." Hua Ling nodded with a nod, her gaze toward Song Mu adding a touch of admiration. Outside the courtyard, the partridge and the old foreigner returned slightly, sitting down on both sides, looking at Song Mu with a very puzzled gaze. "Senior brother Song, you." The old foreigner couldn't help but ask, "Is the skill you used earlier really the Golden Light Curse?" According to legend, only by reaching a certain level of cultivation can you release the protective golden light. Although the partridge didn't ask, he also had the same doubts. That is indeed the Golden Light Curse. I told you before that on our wedding night, I had a feeling and suddenly realized something. Song Mu has no plans to disclose to them for the time being. These things are the foundation of his existence, and also the biggest trump card to rely on for survival. How could he casually tell others? The Golden Light Curse. I have also practiced it before. But when it comes to your level of cultivation as senior brother Song, I don't know how much difference you have made. The partridge looked a little admiring and praised, "This can also prove that your intelligence and spiritual roots, junior brother Song, are both superior." Hua Ling nodded repeatedly and said happily, "My husband, of course he's amazing." While speaking, a sound of horse hooves came from outside the courtyard, and the group got off their horses in front of the door and stepped into the courtyard. Before that, one person bowed with a smile and approached, saying, "Brother Zhigu. Don't come safe." This person is exactly Chen Yulou. Behind him were a group of subordinates, including Red Girl, Hua Mague, Kunlun, and Luo Laowai. "Mr. Chen, head up, don't be safe." The partridge also bowed back and smiled, "Come, please take your seat." Glancing left and right, Chen Yulou's eyes were so sharp that he could see Song Mu sitting there with extraordinary aura at a glance. He also looked at Zhigu in confusion. "I forgot to introduce it," Mr. Chen shook his head. "This is Song Mu. When it comes to seniority, I have to call him senior uncle, but I also have some age advantage and usually consider myself a senior brother. This is my junior brother, an old foreigner, and my junior sister, Hua Ling." The partridges have a clear view. After receiving the news of their arrival, Chen Yulou rushed directly from Miao village to Jinfeng village, hoping to make some verbal agreements first and then work together. Junior brother Song has such an extraordinary aura and a decent appearance, he is actually a dragon and phoenix among people. Chen Yulou chuckled and sat down. Song Mu didn't take Chen Yulou's formalities seriously either. He smiled and said, "Mr. Chen is being polite. Are you here before nightfall to discuss something important?" This time, on the contrary, it was asked to stay at Chen Yulou. To be honest, that actually makes it seem that Chen Yulou is not particularly imposing, as if he is rushing to find them, the group of mountain-moving Taoist priests. But if it's not, Chen Yulou really wants to come and discuss something. What's going on? Who the hell are you, the mountain-moving Taoist? No big or small, don't you know the identity and status of our Mr. Chen leader? The entire Xiangyin area, the 3 Xiang and 4 Shui areas, you don't even bother to listen to the name of Changsheng Mountain. As Luo Lao Wai spoke, he stepped on the bench with one foot, full of banditry. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Chen Yulou quickly waved his hand and said with a smile, "Luo Shui. Brother Zhigu, they are my old acquaintances. We can't lose the etiquette of Changsheng Mountain." The partridge smiled a little and said, "I've said before that when it comes to seniority, I have to call junior brother Song Shishu." In a few words, Chen Yulou and his group have already understood. On the surface, the oldest partridge is the leader of this group of mountain-moving Taoist, but in reality, the one who can truly make decisions is Song Mu. Previously, I was leading someone to pick up some tongue leaks in the Miao village. It is said that in the Bottle Mountain of Laoxiong Ridge, there is a hidden tomb of the Yuan dynasty. Chen Yulou talked confidently, at the same time, he was also observing Song Mu's reaction. This is a probe. If it weren't for our assistance, Mr. Chen would not have taken down the hidden tomb of the Yuan dynasty in the mountains. You alone would not have taken it down. Why not? Song Mu smiled and said indifferently, "Do you have the ability to take out the Linglishi sect and join forces to steal it? PS, 7 has changed. Has anyone seen it? 2008 moving mountains and unloading mountains, working together. For Changsheng. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Leaving the gate of unloading ridge, is moving a mountain a skill." Song Mu's words were spoken, as he had expected. Chen Yulou and the others all had some obvious displeasure, with furrowed brows. No wonder. The Xiangyin area is the territory of Changsheng Mountain. As the overall leader of Changsheng Mountain, Chen Yulou is the Earth Emperor of this territory. Truly speaking, who dares not comply? And now, these words, it's like denying Chen Yulou's ability invisibly. Fuck your mother. When Mr. Chen flipped his head down, you didn't know which mother you were staying in, and you dared to brag here. I'm telling you, kid, this bottle of the Yuan dynasty tomb in the mountain can only be eaten by our Changsheng Mountain, said Luo Lao with a crooked sigh and a slap on the table. Although Chen Yulou, who was sitting there upright, didn't speak, but looking at the expression on his face, there was clearly some displeasure. If Mr. Chen doesn't believe it, please feel free to do so. Song Mu smiled slightly and said lightly, "The Yuan dynasty tomb in this Bottle Mountain is extremely dangerous, with poisonous insects everywhere and killing invisibly. Otherwise, such rare birds and beasts would not have been born." As he spoke, Song Mu's fingers turned towards Feng Ming's Angry Qingji. Even if it is the afterglow of the sunset, but you can still see the colorful feathers on the body of the phoenix roaring angry clear chicken, with an unparalleled aura of divine bravery, and even the chicken beak and claws shimmering with dark golden light. Ha! Such divine objects are indeed rare. Chen Yulou couldn't help but twitch his eyelids. His eyesight was extremely sharp, and he could tell at a glance that this phoenix roaring angry clear chicken was not an ordinary poultry. Isn't it just a big rooster? I have been traveling north and south for these years, and I don't even know how many chicken heads have been chopped off. This can also be called a rare bird or beast. Luo Lao Wai sneered. Luo Shui. Chen Yulou quickly pressed his hand and whispered, "This big rooster is extraordinary and has an extraordinary aura. It's definitely not an ordinary thing." Upon hearing these words, Luo Laowai was also taken aback. The red girl and others who followed behind also cast puzzled glances, but apart from their size, they could not see the uniqueness of this phoenix roaring angry clear chicken. The place where such rare birds and beasts can be born in the world must have hidden dangers and mysteries. "Brother Song, did you get this rooster from a nearby Miao village?" Chen Yulou's posture narrowed down a bit, lacking a bit of arrogance. "If that's the case, inside this bottle of mountain. I'm afraid it's really a bit tricky." Song Mu nodded and said, "Exactly." This time, Chen Yulou's face reappeared with a smile, and he said with a smile, "If the two major tomb-raiding sects of Unloading Ridge and Moving Mountain can work together, wouldn't it be easy to capture just one Yuan dynasty tomb?" "Mr. Chen, head up." Luo Laowai suddenly became anxious. Earlier, it was Luo Laowai who found clues about the Yuan dynasty tomb. He thought that Chen Yulou would lead a team and be able to eat it from bowl to bowl. Whoever thought, halfway through, Song Mu and his group of mountain-moving Taoists came out. It's not a big deal to have an extra group of people join in, the key is the final harvest, which should be allocated to outsiders. Luo Shui, listen to my arrangements. Chen Yulou gave Luo Laowai a color and turned his head to look at Song Mu, saying, "So according to junior brother Song's suggestion, we will divide the profits after we get it." Everyone present immediately became a bit nervous. The partridge remained calm, but could draw out its double spear at any time. The red girl, Hua Mague, and others here are also prepared to launch a rampage and use knives to kill people. Since ancient times, uneven distribution of spoils is a fatal issue in cooperation. Especially in the field of tomb raiding. Even if a copper plate is missing, there is a possibility of killing each other, let alone a wealthy tomb of the Yuan dynasty. Mr. Chen also knew that our family of mountain-moving Taoist has always been searching for ancient tombs, not as artifacts, but as pearls. There are a few things we need in this Yuan dynasty tomb, that's all. Song Mu calmly took a sip of tea, he didn't even pay attention to the people across from him. Just kidding, with Song Mu's current LV2 golden light curse, blocking handgun bullets is completely fine. It's just a matter of minutes to kill Chen Yulou and the others. However, the Changsheng Mountain line of Chen Yulou, Song Mu also wants to develop well and stay for future assistance. It is not wise to rashly tear open one's face and form a grudge against Changsheng Mountain before one has abundant wings and insufficient strength. Okay. Junior brother Song is truly a young hero, with an extraordinary appearance. Chen Yulou bowed with a clasped fist and said in a deep voice, "If we can steal this Yuan dynasty tomb this time, you can choose all the treasures and artifacts you have harvested first." "It's easy to say." Song Mu nodded slightly, "I didn't really take this statement seriously." If Chen Yulou keeps his promise, Song Mu is also willing to give personal affection and develop it. If Chen Yulou betrays his promise, forcibly swallowing the powerful force of Changsheng Mountain, it's also possible. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 009 Flower Spirit. Husband, why don't you take Red Girl too? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jinfeng Village. In another courtyard. Mr. Chen, head up. I still can't figure this out. Damn it, what are these fake Taoists capable of? How dare they come to our Changsheng Mountain bowl and share a share of the pie? Luo Lao took a whiff of the wine and was very unhappy. Not far from the side, Red Girl sneered and said, "I actually think that person named Song Mu has a bit of extraordinary courage and is not bad." Hua Ma opened her mouth and swallowed it again. Have you ever had the courage to know someone? Damn it. In my opinion, that kid is just trying to hold on to his costume. Luo Lao turned his head to look at Red Girl and sneered, "I said Red Girl, you shouldn't be interested in this kid named Song Mu, right?" The Red Girl's face turned cold and she said, get out. Being poked by Luo Laowai, it also made Red Girl feel a bit embarrassed, so she had to pretend to be indifferent in order to cover up her thoughts. Okay. Everyone is from their own family, please calm down. Chen Yulou waved his hand and drank tea, saying, I have a plan to join forces with the mountain-moving Taoist this time. Luo Laowai said, what Mr. Chen means by turning his head is. Hua Guai picked up the conversation and said, we all know that the fat-flowing oil of the Yuan dynasty tomb contains countless hidden gold and silver artifacts. If we get it, even if we really ask the 4 mountain-moving Taoists to do their best to get it, how much can we still take? Isn't the big head still ours? You're right. Chen Yulou nodded in satisfaction. This is indeed one of his ideas, but he needs to use Hua Ma's mouth to speak out. If he gets slapped in the face then, how can he sit still with his head fixed? In terms of observing words and expressions, Hua Ma Guai is indeed top-notch. If you had said that earlier, I wouldn't have been worried. Hi. With a sudden expression on his face, Luo Laowai laughed and said, think about it carefully. Besides, even if they take the most valuable treasure, in the land of Xiangyin, don't we still have to let us control it? Oh. Is Luo Shui trying to break his promise and smash our Changsheng Mountain sign? The red girl spoke coldly, directly pushed the atmosphere to freezing point. What is Changsheng Mountain? The entire 3 xiang and 4 rivers are a gathering place for green forest bandits. The most important thing is to have a literal meaning first. Dishonest and treacherous, tear up the promise, this is a great taboo on Changsheng Mountain. Chen Yulou looked at the red girl in confusion, a bit confused. She was usually quiet and reserved, so why did she have the intention of speaking to outsiders now? His mother sheepy. Red girl, don't go too far. Luo Laowai immediately turned his head and cursed, even blind people can see that you have some interest in Song Mu. Believe it or not, I'll pull him over to you and kill him. The red girl waved her hand and pulled out the flying knife, her voice icy. You dare. All right. Chen Yulou was also a bit angry and slammed the table, saying, don't mention this matter anymore, just follow the rules we've set with them. Everyone, go rest and set off tomorrow morning. Upon hearing this, the red girl gave Luo Lao a fierce glare and turned around to leave first. Seeing that Chen Yulou was really on fire, Luo Laowai and others didn't dare to say much and withdrew one after another. Because of an outsider, what's going on in the den? Chen Yulou took a sip of herbal tea and said with a hint of anger, is it difficult? How much does Miss Hong really have in mind about this mountain-moving Taoist named Song Mu? The next morning, Hua Ling still woke up in Song Mu's arms, with a fair and pretty face adorned with a few tears, which were traces left by pain and happiness. Wake up. Song Mu pinched the pretty face of the flower spirit and whispered, exploring the Bottle Mountain this time is full of dangers. You must not leave my side. Hua Ling nodded lightly and said, I'll listen to your arrangements, husband. With a gentle twist of his watery eyes, Hua Ling's fingers circled Song Mu's chest and whispered, I saw it all last night, husband. That red girl from Changsheng Mountain. Her eyes are almost glued to you. Song Mu was taken aback and said, is there such a thing? At that time, he was busy battling wits and courage with Chen Yulou, where is there time to observe the expression of red girl? Humph. That's husband, you didn't notice. Hua Lingqi grumbled loudly, if it weren't for me sitting next to my husband, maybe this red girl would have come up directly to grab someone. Song Mu waved his hand repeatedly and said, that wouldn't be. Hua Ling said again, but if there's a chance, why don't my husband also marry this red girl and help me share the burden? Let's talk about it when we have a chance, Song Mu couldn't help but laugh and cry. Regarding Hua Ling's proposal, Song Mu didn't think much deeper for the time being. Although holding a many children, many blessings system in his hand, Song Mu also knew that forcing a twist would not be sweet, and forcing it would cause all sorts of harm without any benefit. Soon after the assembly of the mountain-moving Taoist and the unloading mountain warriors, local guides were hired before they finally gathered and set off. This journey starts in the morning. It was until near sunset that I finally saw the silhouette and trace of that bottle mountain from afar. But no one expected it. Originally, the sky was just fine at the end. All of a sudden, it was a sharp turn down. Large areas of black clouds were in the air. Black clouds were pressing down. It seemed that a rainstorm was coming. Tisk. Just arrived at the boundary of Pingshan and encountered a changing sky. Chen Yulou's face was somewhat displeased. The partridge glanced at the local guide and asked, "Is there any place nearby to take shelter from the heavy rain?" The local guide recognized the surroundings and stuttered, "Yes, there is one, but that place of residence is a storage hall." Originally, there was a corpse guardian in this storage hall, nicknamed Rat Second Ant. But a while ago, I heard that the second ant of the mouse fell ill and died. Now, the body is parked in the backyard of the building. Everyone is not unfamiliar with the word zhangguan. Zhangguan is Yizhuang, that is the place where corpses are parked, also known as a hotel for the dead. Brother Song. The partridge turned its head slightly to look at Song Mu. "You can go, it's just." Song Mu pointed to the storage hall at the foot of the mountain and said calmly, "The air inside this storage hall is stagnant, with dark clouds blocking the sun. It's not peaceful inside that storage hall, it's likely to be filled with zombies. P.S. Seeking support for Flower Monthly Pass Evaluation Tickets. 010 Golden Light Curse explodes black hair zombies. Red Girl is shy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh. Could it be that Senior Brother Song also has some techniques for identifying feng shui aura? Chen Yulou suddenly became interested and asked with a smile. Song Mu nodded slightly and said with a smile, "It's just a rough understanding of the surface, but understanding the sun, moon, stars, and the mountains, rivers, and dragons below is just the foundation of feng shui secrets." I admire it. Chen Yulou gave a thumbs up. The partridge on the side is not too surprising. Since Song Mu showed off his protective golden light yesterday, the partridge knew at first glance that in all aspects, Song Mu had already surpassed him by an unknown amount. Aren't they just a few zombie zongzi? What our group of people are not afraid of the most are these sneaky things. Kill as many as you want, Mr. Chen, you say. Luo Lao Wai exclaimed in a daze. Chen Yulou let out a deep sigh and didn't answer the conversation. The group quickly walked down the mountain. By the time everyone arrived at the entrance of the storage hall, the sky above was already as dark as the bottom of a pot, making it difficult for people to catch their breath. Judging from the specifications and standards, this storage hall seems to have been renovated from a mountain temple. Just the yin energy around here. The partridge scrutinized for a week and furrowed its brow. Everyone present is engaged in tomb raiding, and those who eat the bowl of rice from the ancient tomb immediately notice the situation in this storage hall. It's not too good. Always keep your head up. Do you want me to take Kunlun and explore first? Hua Ma Guai volunteered and asked in a low voice. Chen Yulou was about to speak. Song Mu, who was on the side, stood up and said calmly, "The yin energy in this gathering hall is full. With your abilities, you can enter but not leave." Husband. Hua Ling Dun became anxious. "It's okay." Song Mu pinched the pretty face of Hua Ling and whispered, "Just wait for me outside the door for a moment, there won't be any danger." The old foreigner agreed with a big grin and said, "Yes, junior sister, you still don't know the strength of our senior brother Song. He's so fierce." "Indeed, that's true." The partridge nodded with a slight smile. Upon hearing Hua Ling's subconscious voice, she shouted out the words husband. The red girl on the back, her eyes clearly dimmed for a moment, but she regained her energy and said, "Boss, my skills are pretty good, I can barely give it a try." "Okay, you go." Chen Yulou nodded. It seems like a gathering place for yin and dead energy like Zhangguan, and there are also a large number of corpses parked there. Chen Yulou is well aware that there is a high probability that a corpse transformation has occurred inside. But for now, Song Mu, on behalf of the mountain-moving Taoist, took the initiative to step forward. With a proud heart like Chen Yulou, I naturally don't want them to step down from the door of Linglishi and bow their heads. Watching Song Mu push the door first and enter the storage hall, followed closely by Red Girl, Chen Yulou's face finally became more attractive. By the way, Luo Laowai looked at the local guide and asked, how many corpses are there in this storage hall? How often does the corpse carrier come here? The local guide was taken aback for a moment, shook his head, and replied, Grandpa. I really don't know how many corpses have been parked here. However, our area around Laoxiong Ridge is sparsely populated, and the corpse-carrying craftsmen outside come around every 6 months. By this calculation, it's been almost half a year since I came to carry the corpse craftsmen. Upon hearing these words, Chen Yulou and Zhigu's faces changed slightly. Zhangguan was originally a place for hiding dirt and grime, and the death of the guardian was a bad thing. There were also countless corpses parked inside. It can be said that, evil is rampant, yin qi overflows everywhere. Senior brother, inside this storage hall. Hua Ling couldn't rest assured of Song Mu's safety, so she tugged at Zhigu's sleeve and said, otherwise, should we also go in and help? The partridge was just about to speak. Coincidentally, I was taken aback when I saw Fengming Angry Qingji standing on the back of a horse. I think it shouldn't be necessary anymore. The partridge pointed slightly at the phoenix roaring angry rooster and said to Hua Ling, junior brother Song didn't even bring it in, which proves that he has absolute confidence. Before the words fall, inside the storage hall, a brilliant golden light suddenly burst out. The golden light tears through the darkness. Jingqi is majestic, shaking away evil spirits. It's the golden light curse. With such protection, Zongzi, a zombie, dares to approach senior brother Song. The old foreigner let out a loud shout, feeling extremely excited. Golden light curse. Chen Yulou and others were all a bit confused. Isn't the golden light curse one of the Taoist curses? What does it have to do with this golden light curse? Hua Ma Guai scratched her head and suddenly her gaze froze, exclaiming, is it difficult? Song Mu has already practiced the golden light curse to the point of protecting his body from the golden light. As soon as these words are spoken, Chen Yulou and others were all shocked and speechless. And within the storage hall, seeing Song Mu's whole body up and down, all are covered with a brilliant protective golden light. Red Girl couldn't help but let out a cry of surprise, and the appreciation in her eyes grew stronger. Ha! My golden light curse is only at the level of LV2, but it can already change its form as one pleases. Is this the effect of the Qi body source stream? Song Mu was slightly surprised. The protective golden light reflected throughout his body. A part is in Song Mu's hands, sometimes transformed into ropes, sometimes transformed into sharp blades. Although a bit rough, it already has a charm. But it's okay, let me try the intensity first. Song Mu held the protective golden light in his hand and looked around. There are no less than 20 poorly made coffins placed throughout the entire storage hall, including no less than a dozen, all making strange noises of nails scratching the coffin boards. This also means there are at least a dozen Zongzi corpses in the store. Song Mu. There are too many Zongzi for corpse lifting, which is really not good. Let's withdraw first. Bang. I haven't finished a sentence yet. The coffin board on the side of Red Girl was suddenly smashed, and a pair of hands covered in black hair shot straight at her back like lightning. Black-haired zombies. It's good to come. Song Mu took 2 steps forward, and the golden light in his hand transformed into a long whip. He easily wrapped it around the waist and abdomen of the Red Girl, took the opportunity to bring it back, and embraced it in his arms. No, you don't need to help, I can still handle it. Surrounded by Song Mu's arm, the red girl only felt waves of heat on her face, and even more so, she felt powerless and ashamed, wanting to die. For so long, red girl has never been held in such a man's arms before. Can you handle it? Song Mu cast a skeptical glance at red girl, with a backhand flick, the golden whip burst into force, like thunder, and hit the black Zongzi precisely in the middle of the forehead. Click. Head exploding, black blood splattering everywhere. So fierce. The red girl was startled. She could vaguely guess that Song Mu's strength was extremely strong. But I never expected it to be so strong. The long whip made of golden light, unexpectedly, with a single blow, it broke the head of a black Zongzi. Is it fierce? It's just average. Song Mu put down the red girl with his back hand, patted her casually, and said, "Go over there and stay by yourself, don't drag me down." A short knife slipped out of red girl's sleeve. Her shy and angry gaze, which made her want to commit suicide, it's like trying to devour Song Mu alive. Just stay by yourself, what do you mean by patting my drum? P.S. The first day's 10 updates are available. Do what you say. Unfortunately, the data is hard to describe. There are no flowers, no monthly tickets, and the evaluation tickets are also dismal. 55.